UK. Professor MacEwen is chair of the GMC since May 2022 and has been a member of the council since January 21 and served as acting chair from August 21 to May 2022. She is a consultant ophthalmologist for NHS Tayside and honorary professor at the University of Dundee. She was appointed Dame Commander of the Order of the British Empire for services to ophthalmology and healthcare leadership during the COVID-19 response in the Queen's Birthday Honours List in June 2021. Professor MacEwen is committed to quality improvement and chaired the trustee board of the Healthcare Quality Improvement Partnership from 2020 to 2023 and has served on a number of NHS committees regarding service and medical force redesign. It is my honour now to invite Professor Dame Carrie MacEwen on stage for her address.
Very much for that introduction, and good evening everybody. Prime Minister, I think has unfortunately left the room, Minister of Health, President of Sri Lanka Medical Council, the Registrar, the Chair of the Centenary Committee, SLMC Council members, distinguished medical and judicial professionals, all medical regulation leaders, and of course honoured guests and ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to thank you very much for the opportunity of being here with you this evening, and I bring the warmest congratulations from all at the General Medical Council. It really is a true privilege to celebrate a milestone in such auspicious company, and it's testament to the success of the Sri Lanka Medical Council to be able to mark 100 years of service to the people of this country and the high esteem in which the Council is held. At the General Medical Council, I don't like to brag, but we are just ahead of you with 167 years under our belt. But these years don't matter for both of us. Much has changed since our founding. We've already heard of some of these: societal values, patient demographics, medical and technical advances, and the makeup of the workforce, to name a few. Each can be seen either as a challenge or as an opportunity, and that depends on your perspective. But in all aspects, we can learn, and we can share learning from one another. So let's go back to 1858 at the beginning of the General Medical Council. At that time, we were the archetypal guardian of self-regulation, the doctors deciding what was best both for their patients, but also for the profession itself. We would exercise our disciplinary powers largely in cases of criminal behaviour and poor conduct. But while misconduct and criminality continue to feature in our caseload, much of the way in which we regulate today would be unrecognisable. For instance, we now have significant patient and public involvement, and we have now put self-regulation as a thing of the past. And of course, not only has the Council and the profession changed, the world around us has changed radically too. Progress has always been an integral part of medicine, but today's technological advances, which we've already heard about, like AI, genomics, and social media, are transforming the landscape in a way in which any medical advances really have not done, because they're unlocking huge opportunities, but they're providing us with sizable ethical challenges and more demands. We also know that the patient profile, too, is evolving in all countries. An ageing population, increasingly suffering from complex comorbidities, is changing the shape and the acuity of demand. And public expectations as society are changing too. The prevailing dynamic of paternalism between the doctor and the patient has long gone in the UK and is generally diminishing around the globe. Today, patients, and I would say rightly, want to be central to decision making and to have much greater sense of ownership over their own health, aided by more readily available information, rather than it being hidden within the medical textbooks of old. And if you add to that, the medical workforce itself is changing significantly, particularly in the UK, where the profession has become increasingly diverse in all ways. There are more ethnic minority doctors than white in the UK, and women now outnumber men on our register. 60% of our medical students across the UK are women. So the future looks decidedly female. And I know that there is increasing feminisation of the workforce in Sri Lanka here as well. But it's not just the makeup, it's the actual career paths that are beginning to change. In the UK, more doctors are taking breaks from work or training, and 30% of female and 15% of male doctors in the UK now train on a part-time basis. Work-life balance and family have become increasingly important and are now taking priority for individuals in many professions, not just medicine, but across them all. This, of course, is a far cry from the field that I entered medicine as a student in 1975, 50 years ago. At that time, there was a cap on the number of female medical students admitted to medical schools in the UK, but the Sex Discrimination Act, so legal aspects are really important here, was passed that year. And then eventually, albeit very gradually, it meant that medical school places were gained on merit, but not on other personal characteristics. But that gives an indication of how difficult and how different the world was in these days. So what I'm saying is that much has changed fundamentally in the last 50 years. That I can recognise, far less the 100 that this council has been in existence. So how do we pursue our common purpose of patient safety when the landscape is constantly shifting under our feet? I think the first thing we must do is make a choice. And that choice is that we must be ready to change, that we must want to embrace it rather than fear it. In all my years as a doctor, I've seen time and time again that the most profound and long-lasting change originates from those at the centre of it. Often in small but meaningful steps. But as regulators, we must be agents of change and not subject to it. And if we're going to continue to deliver for the patients and the public, we are duty-bound to protect. We need to recognise the world as it is, not as it was a century ago, and adapt and evolve to meet the changes it throws up. Of course, in all of this, our North Star is patient safety and the high professional standards that support that. How good care is best delivered is a complex, challenging world which is constantly evolving, is difficult. But I think that we all recognise the key tenets. High standards of education and professional values that ensure that the profession is best placed to care for the population. Clear and consistent expectations of all players in the field, and swift action when they are not met. Central to this, we believe, is support for the profession so that they can perform at their best, because the environments in which doctors work have a material impact on the care that they're able to provide. I would say that whatever the changing context over the coming years, the ambitions we all share around patient safety, no matter where in the world we live and work, both as medical professionals and those who regulate them, will remain at the heart of everything that we do. It's clear that the Sri Lanka Medical Council has done this ably for the last 100 years to the benefit of patients, the public, and the many health care professionals who serve with them. And it is clear with the new Act currently in front of Parliament that they recognise and are preparing for the changes so clearly iterated by all the speakers tonight. I'm very grateful for your invitation to be here, and I look forward to celebrating your future successes to come, as well as enjoying the rest of this evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Madam. Ladies and gentlemen, and now to formally bring this historic and momentous occasion to a close, an event thoughtfully planned and executed over the past several months. It is my honor to cordially invite Dr. H.D.B. Herath, Registrar of the Sri Lanka Medical Council, to propose the vote of thanks.
Your Excellencies, guests, invitees, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. As we come to the close of this momentous national celebration, it's my honor and privilege on behalf of the Sri Lanka Medical Council to extend our heartfelt gratitude to all who contributed to the success of this historic occasion. Our sincere thanks goes to the Honorable Dr. Harini Amarasuriya, the Prime Minister, for gracing this occasion as the chief guest and honoring us with her presence and words of encouragement. We are deeply grateful to Her Ladyship, the Honorable Chief Justice, for accepting our invitation and joining us today, thereby reaffirming the interest of the judiciary for the regulatory responsibilities of the Sri Lanka Medical Council. A special note of gratitude is extended to Honorable Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa, Minister of Health and Mass Media, who provides unwavering leadership and guidance to the affairs of the Council. We are also thankful to Honorable Dr. Dhammika Pattabandi, the Honorable Minister of Environment, for his gracious presence at this event. Thank you, sir, for coming. We thank the Excellencies, the High Commissioners and Ambassadors whose participation reflects the global significance of this Council's centenary. We are honored by the presence of Dame Professor Carrie MacEwen, Chair of the General Medical Council of the United Kingdom, who joined us as a special guest, and Mrs. Joan Simeon, Chair of the International Association of Medical Regulatory Authority, for accepting our invitation to serve as the keynote speaker and bringing global perspectives and insight into our celebrations. Special thanks for both of you, Madam. Everybody, when they come to know that both of you all are attending, ask, how did you get these people to come? But I know that simple email worked and you were humble enough to accept our invitation, and thank you very much for accepting our invitation. Our appreciation extends to all Deputy Ministers, Parliamentarians, Honourable Attorney General, the Solicitor General, the officials of the Attorney General's Department, whose continued support is vital for our work as well. We gratefully acknowledge the presence of the other Ministry Secretaries and of the Ministries of Health and Education, Additional Secretaries and officials of these ministries for their participation. A sincere thanks goes to the heads of representatives of the UN agencies in Sri Lanka and their representatives, as well as the special invitees from the WHO-sponsored workshop held in Colombo earlier this week for joining us in this important day. We are also grateful to the Chairman of the University Grants Commission, Vice Chancellors of the universities, Deans of the Faculties of Medicine, Dentistry and Allied Health Sciences, and heads of government departments for their presence on this historic day. To the President, Professor Vajra Disanayaka, Vice President Chandrika Pitakaduwa, and members of the Sri Lanka Medical Council, I offer my sincere appreciation for their leadership. We also thank to our past presidents, registrars, and former council members for joining us today and for their invaluable contributions over the decades. Our special thanks goes to the Professor Ranil Fernando, Chairman of the Centenary Celebrations Committee, and all its members for their unwavering commitment to planning and organizing this centenary event with such a professionalism and care. I need to mention Professor Manoru Gamagi, who was leading the preparation of the souvenir as the editor, and Dr. Sunil Vijayasinghe for going into the details of the activities, which relieved me from many aspects and burdens in organizing this event. I also thank Dr. Darshana Sirisena and Dr. Indika Lanrol for supporting the invitation process, Dr. Kapila Jayaratna for media coordination, Dr. Janaka Pushpakumar and Dr. Tenuan Vikramasinghe for executing the academics sessions, and Professor Surangi Yaswardhana and Dr. Suresh Chandramuganandu, who are also throughout the process supported us. We are truly honored and honored by the collaboration of the Postmaster General and the Department of Post in issuing the commemorative postage stamp, and we acknowledge Mr. Pulaste Edirivira, whose artistic talent brought the stamp design into life. We are also thankful to the President, Secretary and the editors of the Sri Lanka Medical Association for their invaluable support in producing the special issue of their newsletter in honor of our centenary, launched earlier today in the academic sessions. Our gratitude goes to Channa Upuli Performing Arts Foundation, who will be performing in a minute's time, and to Dr. Anojana Jayasilan for her excellent comparing and extended voluntarily, not only for this event but also for the events of the Medical Council in the past, and also Dr. Chamika Senanayaka for his support with audiovisual productions and IT services. I warmly acknowledge the enthusiastic efforts of volunteers of the medical faculties and dentistry, whose support also helped us to make this event a success. Our sincere thanks goes to the management and staff of the BMICH and the Mount Lavinia Hotel for all the facilities, and Anand the Press for making the souvenir a remarkable product for which, and also Right Media Company, who supported us to publish a Suvaya magazine. We welcome all, we commend the AV production, our event manager. We are also deeply grateful to all media institutions for their excellent coverage and visibility they provided.